Hi friends, welcome back. So today I was going to cover our process of getting new countertops for our kitchen. Here's a look back at how the kitchen looked when we first got the house. There was laminate countertops. I believe they had been self-installed. When we first were looking into stone, they came out to double check our measurements and check the levelness of the countertops. Unfortunately, they were not level, which did result in an extra charge since they had to come back out after leveling them. While removing all of the cabinets and the countertops to level, we did find some rotten wood in the floor underneath, so we were able to replace that, which was fortunate since it probably needed to be done anyway. So we're going to take a look at that whole process from start to finish. So originally in this kitchen, the fridge was actually at the far left in the corner against the wall, which made it really hard to open the freezer. So we moved it to this location. And then here's a look underneath the cabinets. You can see the floor was quite a bit different than the rest of the floor that we had refinished. Originally, I went to a local countertop place to get some estimates and ideas about Soapstone. However, when I went, the price was just a little out of our budget. They had some really beautiful slabs. They also had a lot more options. Like if you wanted a soapstone sink, they would manufacture that for you. If you wanted like the little rivets to drain water for like a dishboard, they would do that as well. I really love the way the soapstone sinks look, especially when they have the apron front. I think they really showcase the beauty of the stone. However, it ended up being just a little too much out of our budget, not making it feasible. We have a lot of countertop space in this kitchen, so it's not like we were buying a small amount of soapstone. I ended up looking at countertops at Home Depot and noticed that they sold soapstone as well. So I went online and used the website to use the countertop estimation tool. And it came pretty close to what the overall cost was. However, since we had unlevel countertops, that resulted in an extra charge since they had to come back out and double check that they were level. At the local stone place, you could actually go in and pick out your stone. There was also some more options on whether you wanted it to be thicker. I think it was just more customizable than what you get at Home Depot. The Home Depot process, they use dowel tile. So you can go to the showcase area and you basically see what they have, but you're not picking out your stone. When we went and looked at it, they're not really asking you any questions there. You've pretty much already done the process on the website, and then you're just going to view it. Getting it into the house was a little bit of a headache too. We don't really have a good area to bring it in. We were working on the deck. I thought they were going to use the front door, but they ended up going in the back door, and since it was such a long slab, they were just maneuvering a lot. I thought overall they did a pretty nice job. They did rub against one of the cabinets and kind of scratch some of the paint off, but it really wasn't a big deal. They did ask when I was there talking to them about the sink, since I did buy a sink at the same time, how many holes you want for the sink. There was a little bit of a language barrier, which made it difficult. They actually had to call someone for me to talk to them to tell the installers. They did end up figuring out what we wanted though, so we were able to install enough holes for the bridge faucet that I was planning to put in. There did end up being some delays with the installation of the countertops. it ended up that they had chipped the first stone or slab. So they called and had to push it back. And then they actually also chipped the second slab. So it ended up taking quite a bit longer than I had hoped it would, which was a little bit of a headache, especially with the extra fees. It's like, you're charging the extra fees and then we keep getting pushback. But the end result did end up being really beautiful. Here's a look at them installed around the kitchen. So showing you my Soapstone countertops that we ordered from Home Depot. We did get the backsplash with them. As you can see, one of the seams is here, and I wasn't really loving the way that they filled that in. I did talk to a local countertop place, and they had said that they would put the seams around the sink where the soapstone is much more narrow. So as you can see, Home Depot did not do that. They put two very long seams at the end of these slabs. I really love the color of this stone though. I think the color was perfect. It was exactly what I was looking for. Have several smaller pieces. The stone itself feels really nice. It's kind of got that nice soft soapstone feel. Of course, with soapstone you do have to polish it if you want it to look nice and shiny. You can see, like from a coffee cup, it left a ring. It's a non-porous material, so that is not going to seep into the stone. It just wipes right off. We did opt for the backsplash. The countertops were not level previously, so we did have to pay an extra charge for them to come back out and remeasure. If we were going to pay them to level it, I think they said it would be about $1,100. We also ordered the sink when we got the countertops. They didn't do the plumbing hookups, but that's something that you can choose. My husband hooked it up. I really like how deep this sink is. There were a couple different options. At the local place, they had the option to actually get a soapstone sink. That wasn't an option at Home Depot. However, with the cost, I don't think that really would have been feasible for us anyway. There's a couple different options for the corners. I kind of went with this rounded corner. I do like it. Soapstone does chip and scratch, but it can be sanded down. So at this point, we've had this for probably 10 months. I honestly love it. I love the way it looks. When I wipe it down, it feels really nice and clean. I like that it's non-porous and it won't be getting stained at all. You do have to be careful though of scratching or chipping. And there has been a few chips that I've noticed around the sink. Like, especially if you're using like heavier pans, as you can see right here, there's kind of a chip. So now our countertop project is complete, and here's a look at the kitchen in the evening. It ended up coming in a bit over $100 per square foot for all of the countertops. I do love them, and I really love the sink as well. So thanks for watching. Hope I can catch you again in a future video.